awake. After lunch is difficult sometimes, huh? But, well, welcome, everyone. And thank you very much for inviting me to talk about transparency and privacy, because it's a topic I like so much, and I am working with that for a long time. Well, I am Edilson Osorio, but who is this guy talking to you today? Well, I am a computer scientist, and I am information security specialist. I work with that for more than 20 years. And I have a graduation in copyright on Harvard Law School, and I'm CEO and founder of Original My. Original My was founded in 2015 in Brazil, and at first we were preserving intellectual properties. After that, we evolved the platform for an e-governance platform using blockchain. And we use blockchain for authenticating identities, signatures, authorizations at all, and digital content. Well, I'm a member of ISO. I represent Brazil. I'm leader in Brazil of Security, Privacy, and Identity Working Group, and I'm a member of EU Blockchain Observatory e-forum. And this kind of thing happened in Brazil. I was very proud to talk on an event with this guy on a very important event over there. Well, let's talk about transparency versus privacy and the conflict between them. What happens? Is it dead? Is the privacy dead? What do you think? Probably. Probably it is. Probably it's not. Because privacy is directly related to information security. We can say if privacy is dead, the information security is dead as also. And, well, some people are studying privacy in 4 different levels. On individual level, corporate level, organizations, state level, and international level. And, come on, slide. And, well, where are people concerned about online privacy? This graph can show to us people in Americas, Europe, Asia, and Africa. There's some places people are more concerned about online privacy. That's probably the online privacy is the key for changing the mind of people, because they understand better how their privacy is being invaded sometimes. And we have, probably it's not easy to see, but BRICS is on top of this list on where people are more concerned. And in America, what they are concerned, what they worry about online privacy, online banking. It's very easy to understand because why they are concerned about privacy on online banking. Because there's a lot of frauds, there's a lot of leakings all the time. And we have online shopping, and something like stealing identities, identity fraud. That's where the privacy is most important, probably. So people feel that better on those fields. And this lady was the whistleblower of Cambridge Analytica. Probably a lot of you heard something about. And she says something interesting. She says, privacy doesn't exist on a post-Facebook crisis era. And she suggests that we could sell our private data, because selling will not be so concerned about what they will do with our data, because we sold that. Is it fair? Maybe. We have a new kind of capitalism. We have a surveillance capitalism. They are getting all of our data. They are extracting, they are creating commodities with our data, and they are selling. And the important thing, they are exiling people from their own behavior. They are creating clusters and bubbles of knowledge, bubbles of thinking, ways of thinking. And they are creating new markets on behavior for prediction and modification of behavior using all the information they are taking from us. Well, we are in the age of privacy nihilism. Why? Because we know it's impossible to stop that. They are taking our data for many years, even before Facebook, even before Google. But now we understand better because they are leaking our data. So privacy, we are very concerned about privacy because of those big guys. And, well, they are collecting, selling, reusing our personal data for a long time. And is it too late to stop that? What do you think? No, for sure. We need to find the ways. The ways are there. We just need to use that. We need to make people aware of the ways for protecting their privacy and their own data. It's very important. And people just don't know how to do that. And the door to hell is the thing what they are doing with our data, because they are doing more and more and more and collecting more data and transforming the data they got in new data to sell that to people, advertisers, and use that to us. But I have nothing to hide. Some people say that. Some friends of you know that. It's wrong. It's very wrong. I have a lot to hide. That's why I wear clothes. If I have nothing to hide, why am I wearing clothes? Well, this guy has a very interesting quote about that. Arguing that you don't care about the right to privacy because you have nothing to hide is absolutely the same than saying you don't care about free speech because you have nothing to say. And what you do to protect your privacy? Cryptography. Cryptography is the best way for protecting your privacy today. You can encrypt your connections, you can encrypt your data, and you can encrypt a lot of things. But there are things that you can't encrypt yet. For example, your mobile phone. They have the GPS turned on all the time. They get information about where we are all the time. How to block that? Stopping using our mobile. The last version, the last update of iOS was good because it was good. iOS not good, sorry. Maybe it's good. But they have a new feature. So any app who requests for your location when the app is closed, they notify you and you authorize or not. I think it's a big step for having that control or protecting you from that kind of stealing your data where you are all the time. And I brought two cases of a big problem on privacy. Are you aware about the UK case? They installed some cameras in the streets and they are scanning the faces of every citizen who is walking over there. And some guy tried to not appear in the camera. He was fined because he protested against it. And in China, what is happening in China with the social score? We need to bring that discussion to everyone. Is it fair? Is it not fair, the government having this kind of information and taking decisions of if you can take the bus or the train or having a line of credit? Is it fair? GDPR. Everyone knows about GDPR over here. But if you ask for your government to remove your access of data, will you do? Probably not. And governments are under GDPR, not over. And they have access of data, unused data that could be deleted. But they still using that data or storing that data on ways we don't know. And that's why we talk about transparency. Because when you talk about privacy, the international laws for privacy, they are international, global. But when we talk about transparency, probably we are talking to our governments, regulators. It's local. And transparency is very important to understand how they are handling our data. This map shows transparent government practices. The darker countries, they are more transparent. Okay, the lighter, they are less transparent. And the next one is Corruption Perception Index. From zero is dark, and the 100% is blue. So less corrupted countries, they are in blue. But look this map. Look at this map again. Again. They overlap. So we have the perception, the real perception. Less transparency brings more corruption to our countries, to our governments. And it makes a lot of sense. Well, privacy and transparency do not balance each other, but complement each other. And they complement. Why they complement each other? What we use to have metrics on how extent the transparency or how to extend about the privacy. We use the public interest. Because it's public interest who will drive how much transparency you have and how much privacy you will have. The public interest must drive that information. And next one. Well, transparency protects privacy. Transparent privacy policies. We can have transparency reports. We can follow in higher industrial standards around the world. And the most important thing, it could be through self-regulation and co-regulation. If you have the government, the government needs to talk to the market, to the people, to understand how to co-create the regulation. We know governments, they have a very heavy hand creating regulations because they do from their minds. And their minds are from centuries ago. We need to change that. We need to work together. And transparency on international level. The importance of rights. We need to improve the knowledge on digital things from our people. We need to reduce the digital divide by increasing the affordability. We need to promote democracy, and we need to promote digital transparency. Transparency is fundamental to protect people's rights. Weeks of our personal data are collected, used, consulted, or processed. To what extent the personal data is processed, to what extent your personal data will be processed. And transparency is fundamental to improve democracy. I brought a case built in Brazil. They used our engine for identity, signatures, and authentication of documents for collecting signatures on public petitions. In Brazil, we have a law. If 1% of the population agrees on a public petition, the Congress or the House of Representatives must hear. It's very important. And the thing is, after this project, for the first time, Brazilian government has approved 2 laws that started from people, and because they could prove the identity of people signing that public petitions, and it could not be frauded, the laws were approved. It's a big step in a government, and everything can be auditable because we use just public blockchains for that. And because of that, they won the Global Impact Challenge from Google.org. And transparency is fundamental to promote access to justice. Another example, we created a tool for collecting, for preserving evidences of harassment, fake news dissemination, defamation, and cyberbullying. In Brazil, for doing that, you need to go sometimes to the notary, but notaries don't work on weekends, don't work during the nights. And because of that, a lot of people are having access to justice because they can prove that bad thing was on internet sometime. And last year, a presidential candidate, we had the elections, presidential elections last year in Brazil, and a presidential candidate used that tool for preserving the government proposals because other parties, they faked, they frauded the government proposals and disseminated on the WhatsApp, Telegram, and social media. So with that kind of tool, they could prove what is authentic, what is not. And we had a very important decision in Brazil in the Court of Appeals when the judge, he told this kind of thing in the decision. From the knowledge of the facts, the author provided the preservation of all the content via blockchain through original My Platform, able to prove the veracity and existence of the contents. This is a big step, a very big, huge step on blockchain and justice, because this kind of thing can bring the market and other initiatives, I don't remember the term, but they can help to new products, new inventions, new things, new projects coming and being accepted in the justice as well. And transparency is fundamental to protection of privacy. We created the first protocol for secret voting on public blockchains, and we had the proof of concept to run in the white paper already published for some time ago. And that's why we were listed by UN as a real blockchain use case doing social impact. And we have the recognition from the European Commission as a trusted blockchain application. Well, and we use blockchain for transparency because we can improve the democracy. We can empower people, and we are promoting the access to justice for us all. Thank you. Thank you. Questions? I think we have some time for questions before the panel. Someone? Okay, if there's no questions, I think we can start the panel. Who will be here?